to help us celebrate Kobe. Thank you so much, friend, for joining us. We really appreciate it. I'll just start asking you the same question I asked Robert and Matt. What memories are brought up for you on a day like today?
It's a flood of memories, and waking up today and realizing it was the anniversary of his death. Firstly, just that this entire year has gone by without him, and what a touchstone he was for our city on a multitude of levels. As an athlete, the amazing things that he did, the transcendent acts on the basketball court, it's not so much for me personally what he did, it's how what he did made me feel. And I think that's a universal thing. It's what it made us all feel.
Right.
It's like when someone dedicates themselves to a craft so completely and transcends so profoundly, it satisfies a yearning in all of us, because every one of us yearns to be better. We yearn to be better as human beings, as friends, as lovers, as whatever field we're in, whether it's arts or academics or athletics or whatever our labor is of life. We all yearn to be better. When someone shows us how far you can take it, it's inspiring and it touches us. And for someone like me, and for the many of us that are basketball fanatics, we know that basketball is a vehicle for the most profound expression of human spirit, and Kobe embodied that to the furthest extent that we could ever imagine. And I'm so grateful for him, and I can't help but think back to that day a year ago when he passed, and how absolutely devastating it was to get that news. And because we were watching this guy evolve, not just as an athlete, he evolved through his career from being so arrogant in the beginning to bringing in his teammates in a more complete way as his career evolved, but also as a human being. Just it became warmer and kinder and more inclusive. And then after he retired, all the work he did with his daughter and women's basketball and bringing attention to it, and how important that was, gender equity in sports. And to think back to that day, you're sitting there devastated that Kobe left us, and then we hear that his beautiful little girl was gone. And it was, absolutely crushing. And, it's a time for memory, and it's a very solemn thing.
No, that's all. Yeah, it's so eloquently put. The idea of what he made you feel, that Maya Angelou quote, right? That is Kobe to a T. And I do want to honor Vanessa's wishes by focusing on points in his life. And it is funny, for all the championships, for all the great moments, that last night, Flea, I feel just so honored to have been in the building for his final performance. And you did a lot more than that. He asked you to be the one to do the national anthem that night. What did that mean to you? And just also to see him drop 60 in his exit. What do you remember about that night?
That I wanted to do a good job for him, to honor him. And then it was, just thinking about his whole career. I met him before he ever played a game for the Lakers, after they drafted. And I didn't know Kobe well at all. I was, I'd met him a few times, and he was always kind and generous with his time with me. But I just wanted to honor him and to do the best at my craft, that I could, and as the best that I could do for him, and to channel God, to channel the spirits, and to be a conduit for all that is good about humanity, and do my best as an evolving person to honor him. That's all I ever wanted to do in that regard.
Well, you've done that, certainly, and more. Thank you so much for spending time with us today. It's good to see you again, and I know that Kobe's in your heart, not just today, but every day. Thank you, Flea. We appreciate it.
Okay, Rachel. Bye-bye.
All right, guys. We are going to talk a little basketball here today because we're a basketball show, and let's face it, Kobe loved to play hoops. He loved watching all these guys whose hands he left the league in. So let's do it. Let's look at some of the games and stuff that happened last night. It is, as you guys know, a make or miss league. Make emphasis. Timberwolves, Warriors, rookie Anthony Edwards taking off, flying past an outstretched rookie James Wiseman for that huge jam. That you see the number one pick here, right?
Scary. He's starting to develop. You know what I like about him? He's a dog. He has a football player background, so he's never going to back down. Once his skill level, the 2 or 3 years into the game, start matching his tenacity, he's going to be a real problem for the league.
Yeah, especially when moments like this, 1 versus 2, you know he was thinking that. I see you down there. I'm going to show you why I was number 1 right here. And he goes in there for the jam. This guy is athletic beyond craziness. So if he can just channel it, when you want to talk about Mamba mentality, this guy needs it because he has all the talents in the world to be a great basketball player.
Absolutely. There was so much talk going into the draft. They're like, oh, it's not that rich or deep a draft. But the top picks, man, they're already showing out. Miss acting here, Thunder Blazers. Watch Gary Trent Jr. We'll reach by Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. Little full belly flop.
I don't know how you felt, Rob, but I hated flopping.
I hate flopping. Only time I would flop was in the playoffs because we might need that foul or something. You only do it in important. You can't do it through the whole season. Now everybody thinks you're a flopper. You got to wait.
Right.
You got to strategically pick those moments.
Strategery, right there. Boom. Make strategy. Heat Nets. Let's move on there. After being shut down by security on their attempted jersey exchange over the weekend, which I just want to point out again, the league told Heat security to do this. They told our friend Dave Holcomb to do that. He was doing his job. But on Monday, Kyrie Irving and Bam did share a little exchange there. Bam walking off, tucked Kyrie's jersey out under his own there. It's good strategy there, right?
It just makes zero sense to me. You can battle against someone, sweat on them, wrestle with them for 2.5 hours, and you can't say bye after the game. I understand they're trying to take every precaution, but it just doesn't make so much sense to me.
And but Bam should understood also, dude, you had a career high that night. You don't give that jersey up. You keep that. You actually steal it from the staff and you take it home. That's what I did.
Well, he took Kyrie's. I don't know if he could give Kyrie him. So I don't know there. All right, Miss Subtlety. Nuggets, Mavs, Jamal Murray getting knocked to the ground trying to get by Timmy Hardaway Jr. Murray gets up, tried to sneak a little blow on Hardaway, but not sneaky enough because he was ejected.
Cameras are everywhere. You can't do this. He's like, okay, I was trying to get up. He was in my way. No, there's certain ways you can get up, my brother. But, you have to respect Hardaway because a lot of guys.
Not just going to take it.
To that,
not going to take that. He definitely acted the right way, for where the game is at today. But, back in the day, that would have been some trouble.
When I used to cover the NFL, offensive linemen would tell me, what went on at the bottom of the pile when no one's looking. And there was more of that than you would want. That's all I'm going to say. All right, make confidence. Lakers, Cavs, JaVale McGee decided to again show off his ball handling skills. We've been showing this on the jump. Now, this time it did not go as well as it did the other night. I don't know. Sometimes you do something, you get excited, and then you try it again, and maybe he's flying a little too close to the sun there, trying to be the point center, Robert.
He's on the trademark. Go ahead, Robert.
He's determined. This is his old team. He wants to show these guys, I still have some skills, man.
Right.
Y'all let me go too soon, but JaVale's one of those guys. You just want to sit back and watch what he's going to do next.
Yeah, I mean he's on the trade blocks, so to speak. So I think he's trying to show his talent. But in the summertime, he works out as a full guard. So none of this really surprised me when he actually has the nerve to do it in the game.
Well, JaVale, not the only one in Cleveland feeling himself last night. LeBron James absolutely went off in his first game back in his old home arena in 2 years. James dropping 46 on his former team. 21 of those points came in the fourth quarter, where he outscored the entire Cavaliers team by himself. And you can see here just how efficient he was, especially from range. He made 7 of his 11 threes. Now, as mentioned, he turned it on in the fourth, which came about a little extra motivation from a special spectator who let LeBron hear it after missing a shot close to the end of the third. Take a listen here.
Yeah, I know who he is. He's part of the front office group. He was really excited about me missing, that shot a little bit more extra than I would have liked. But, he got a root for his team, obviously. And he was, he showcased that. So, I knew I had another quarter. And the fourth quarter is my favorite.
Matt, come on. Someone who works for the Cavs
Right.
should know better, right?
I mean, there's always that one person when a joke is told that kind of laughs a little bit too hard. You know what I
Right.
mean? And I kind of feel like that even if they didn't do nothing, you're going to be the reason why. He was definitely the reason why. LeBron went for 21 in the fourth quarter and outscored the whole Cavs team. So, you know, he looked for anything similar to what Kobe did. Look for anything for motivation, and he definitely found it.
The real part about it, look at the head snap. It was a quick
Instant.
head snap. Like,
Right?
oh, no, you did
Like
just
he
right.
knew
And
the
then he
laugh.
looked back
Like
at
he
him
knew
again.
who laughed. Exactly. Like I heard
said,
that
I
laugh
got you.
before.
I got you. You want to wake me up? I
Right.
got something for you right here. And he went off, you know, true LeBron style. In his building, the building LeBron built.
There you go. That's all I got to say. And look, our Dave McMenamin reporting.